show you how to do the geode tumblers in the second step.
Okay, so
After they're glittered, you have to spray paint them, which is what I'm doing now.
see how it's flat right there.
With a first layer of a metallic color. I like to do that, not everybody does it, you don't have to. Isn't it like I'm talking to myself? Isn't it fun?
Will you be able to edit your crazy dad and uncle out of this?
I'm gonna have
Us
to.
cutting.
You've got a lot going on here.
Kicking it off pretty good. Okay, so the next one now has to be, nope, it has to be the other way. This thing doesn't have a laser on it to tell you where it's going to cut. So, this one, the black knot is over here. So, now.
Okay, so I like to do 2 go-arounds on the cups. And so what I was talking about in my last video is these dimples. And they look terrible, they look scary. But what I do is when I'm starting to remove the paint, I start with those spots. So I remove the paint to show the geode where those are, so no one ever knows that there was ever a bubble in the epoxy where the chunky glitter was.
Lay down. Okay. Push the wood, push it down a little. There. Sure. It looks like, looking down there, it looks like it might be a little further outside. Maybe not, we can cut it. I mean, it's not like you don't have enough room on it, right? I think it's gonna be right. You think it'd be right? Here we go.
Okay, so I have 4 cups that are done right now with the first coat of spray paint. First color anyway. I'm gonna take you over here. Sorry about that. My birth dad and his brother, my uncle, are working right now on a hat box. He's in the Coast Guard and he made chief, and so now he has to make a box to keep his hat in. Anyway, so when I start to take off the paint, what I was talking about a second ago is right here. Right now it looks very rough. And I will do another video on removing the paint specifically, just so that I don't have a bunch of long videos that you can kind of watch in parts and do as you're working on your own tumblers. But anyway, it looks kind of rough right now. I used acetone, which I haven't used in a while, but once I use rubbing alcohol, it'll start to smooth it out and it'll look really nice once again. But this is almost the final step. The next step after removing the spots into doing the geode part is doing the epoxy, the final epoxy finish. When I do that, I tape it a little bit differently, and I'll show you that in the video. I tape it, not everybody does it the same. Some people tape it here at the very bottom when they do the last coat of epoxy, but I've started doing mine to right about there so that I have an overlap onto the cup of epoxy so that it, I don't know, I just like to have that overlap. Some people don't, some people do. Some people glitter it all the way to the bottom. I don't do that. I just put my store logo on the bottom of the cup, and like I said before in a different video, the customer is more than welcome to take it off. I don't epoxy over it and seal it onto the bottom of the cup. I may start doing that later depending on what kind of feedback I get, but as of right now, people haven't minded having the thing on the bottom. So I hope that this is helpful. If you have any more questions and comments, I know that some people had questions, especially about removing the paint and sealing it afterwards. Continue to ask questions. I would like to help. I'm sure other people can jump in and help as well if I can't answer the questions. I know one woman was asking about, will it interfere with the vacuum seal? I don't know the answer to that question, to be honest. It's, I don't think it will. I've never heard that question before, and I've never considered it. But I know one person was asking, I bring the epoxy all the way to the edge of my cup. When I'm going like this with my glove on with the epoxy, I make sure that I go like this, but I don't go like this because I don't want it on the inside of the lip. I guess some people do that on the inside of the lip. Also, some people, when they're spray painting their cups, it's totally optional. It's whatever you want to do. People cover up the top and then put the lid back on the cup and spray paint it like that. I don't. I set it down like this on a piece of wood and spray paint around it, and that way it prevents stuff from getting inside of it. But anyway, I think my crazy aunt's coming back, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video, but that's what I'm doing for now. And I will update you in a minute with all the rest of this stuff, and by a minute I mean a couple hours from now. Bye guys.